Of my favorite builds, as you guys are seeing, this build is probably one of the funnest builds to use if you guys can land those headshots. And what's crazy about it is you guys can run either exotic pistol, whether you guys have the Liberty or you have the Regulus. You guys can absolutely run either one and they will still both one-shot these enemies in the head. And that's what's cool about it. You're just out there like John Wick, just sniping those heads off with the pistol and popping them left and right. And this thing gets very impressive the more stacks you build. And as you notice, I currently have a full 30 stack, and we'll explain everything on how this build is set up. So if you guys are enjoying this, well, stay tuned because we'll have a full build breakdown for you guys. Make sure you guys leave a thumbs up. And before we get into the video, we want to say a quick thank you to our sponsor of the video, Advanced GG. We currently have 72 hours of 30% off using skills 30 on everything on their website. So if you guys want to go try them out, their product is amazing. They have a lot of energy products, hydration products, whatever you guys need to keep you guys going throughout the day, they have you guys covered. Use skills 30 and let me know what you guys think. But let's get into the video and let's talk about the build itself. So as I said at the very beginning, you guys can use the Regulus or you can use the Liberty. In the gameplay, I was actually using the Regulus. The difference between the two is you do get that big explosion, which is actually pretty cool because sometimes it can take out the other enemies. But if you guys don't have that, the Liberty works just as fine. Both of them come with pistol damage. The Regulus actually comes with headshot damage, and then the Liberty comes with damage to targets out of cover. Now the difference between the two is the Regulus does have that explosion, so headshot kills create a 5-meter explosion, dealing 400% weapon damage and applying bleed to all enemies hit. Now it has reload and accuracy on this one. The Liberty, on the other hand, has hits grant 2% damage, stacks up to 30 times, and then headshots consume your stacks, repairing your shield for 3% per stack. So this is actually another one that actually pretty cool too. So if you're hitting all body shots with this one, well, you will have that. But ideally, you're just gonna hit in those headshots to one-shot those enemies. So either way you wanna go, if you don't have the Regulus that's from the raid, well, you could just do the Liberty and it will hit just as hard. They both have around the same amount of total damage. The Regulus obviously has about 100k more. For the specialization, we are using the Technician class, and that is for a few things. This allows us to get an extra skill tier. It also allows us to use our Artificial Hive that's going to keep our shield up. So a couple really cool benefits for running it. Ideally, you could probably run any specialization you want. For the mask, we're running the Punch Drunk mask. Obviously, if you're running a pistol build, it's probably ideal to run this. It has 20% pistol damage, weapon damage, headshot damage. I decided to go with weapon handling because it helps control that pistol from like swaying as much. And then we do have a headshot damage mod. If you want to go some crit chance instead of the weapon handling, you can, but the weapon handling to me definitely is beneficial to this build. For the chest, we're running the Chain Killer. This is the name Walker and Harris piece. This gives us that 5% weapon damage. We have weapon damage, headshot damage, and look, another weapon handling. So we have 16% weapon handling, and that helps out with that pistol. And then we have a 10% headshot damage mod. And obviously, if you guys don't know, Perfect Headhunter, after killing an enemy with a headshot, your next weapon hits within 30 seconds deals additional 150% of that killing blow's damage. Now, this damage is capped to 800% of your weapon's damage, but this is raised to 1250 if your headshot damage is greater than 150%, which we will have on this build. For the holster, we are running our second piece of Walker and Harris that gives us that 5% damage to armor, and then we have weapon damage, weapon handling, and headshot damage. Now, if you guys have one of those DZ exclusive claws out, you can actually run this too. Ideally, what you would want is to make sure that you guys got pistol damage that always rolls there, but you would want to get at least that 10% headshot damage, and then you would want to roll the one skill tier because it always rolls with the yellow skill tier. So you ideally have to get these exact rolls and then roll it. I decided to actually use the Walker and Harris. If you want to run a yellow roll, you can too. It's just going to help heal your shield a little bit better, give you a little bit stronger shield, but it's really up to you what you want to do here. For the knee pads, we are running the Fox pair knee pads with weapon damage, damage targets out of cover, and headshot damage. So you kind of get the feel, we're stacking a lot of headshot damage on this build. For the contracted gloves, we're running weapon damage, damage to armor, and headshot damage again. And then finally, we are running the Memento backpack, and that's where we got the 30 stack. We have weapon damage, armor, skill tier. So that's how we're able to get 913,000 armor. Plus we have 334,000 health, and we have 6 reds, 1 blue, and 1 yellow. We also have a headshot damage mod on there, and obviously you guys know how kill confirm works. At full stack, that's 30% extra weapon damage, 30% skill efficiency and 3% armor regen, which is actually really good with this build. And every time I pick up a trophy, I will get 30% extra weapon damage. And that's why it's very, very crucial to have the build spec the way I do, because it will improve your survivability and obviously enough of that damage to one-shot those enemies. So just make sure you guys really pay attention to how that is all set up. For the stats, we are running 10% crit chance. Ideally, we decided to go with that weapon handling instead. We have 45% critical hit damage, 219% headshot damage, so that raises that cap on Headhunter. 13% armor damage. Remember, we have 8% damage targets out of cover, so a lot of damage that we're getting here. And then look at the weapon handling, 24%, and that's why it's really good for this type of build. If we look at the skills that we're using, let's take a quick look at it. As I said, Artificial Hive, that is really up to you. This is really good for keeping your main shield up, and that's what we're running is the Bulwark Shield. That's going to be tier 3 with this build. Now remember, if you decide to go with that yellow, you'll actually have a tier 4 shield. So a lot of cool benefits for running an extra yellow, and you can have a stronger shield, but ideally the shield pretty much stays up even with this one, and it's not too hard to keep up. As you guys are seeing, gameplay wise, this build definitely performs. It hits very hard and it works very, very good. I actually like this for just doing open world activities, just running through if I'm just trying to get some quick XP. This actually works good. I've actually been using this to level up a couple of my weapons. Since I don't use the primary and secondary weapon, I'm using this build in Countdown. And when you get that damage buffs that you get active, this thing performs pretty well. So it's really up to you guys. If you guys have any questions on how to run this, I definitely like running this solo, and I feel like it very performs a little bit better when you are solo. So have fun with it. Let me know what you guys think, and I will see you guys in the next one. But until then, hey, nothing but skills out.